Ambassador Kael'tha's mandibles clicked in amusement as she watched the human delegation shuffle nervously in their seats. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with the chittering, growling, and harmonic tones of a dozen species, but the humans sat in uncomfortable silence. So, Chancellor Vexmore's deep voice rumbled across the assembly, his 8 eyes fixed on the pale creatures. The humans wish to petition for membership in our confederation. How quaint. Laughter rippled through the chamber, a cacophony of alien sounds that nonetheless carried universal mockery. The human ambassador, a middle-aged woman named Sarah Chen, kept her composure despite the flush creeping up her neck. Kael'tha leaned forward, her crystalline exoskeleton gleaming under the chamber's lights. Tell us, Ambassador Chen, what could your species possibly offer the Galactic Confederation? Your people have barely crawled beyond their own solar system. We offer our ingenuity, Chen replied steadily. Our adaptability. Your weakness, interrupted General Thakros, his massive frame towering even while seated. The reptilian warlord's scales shifted to a deep red, a sign of contempt among his people. We've observed your military capabilities, primitive chemical rockets, crude kinetic weapons. Your largest vessels wouldn't qualify as shuttlecraft in any civilized fleet. The chamber erupted in renewed laughter. Chancellor Vexmore raised a clawed appendage for silence. Perhaps, he said, his tone dripping with condescension, we could offer humanity protected status, like children who need guidance from their betters. Chen's jaw tightened, but she maintained her diplomatic mask. We appreciate the Council's consideration. However, we believe we can contribute as equals. Equals? Kael'tha's laugh was like breaking glass. Your entire species' military output couldn't defend a single one of our mining colonies. Face reality, human. Your people are soft, weak. Evolution clearly favored other paths among the stars. The session continued, for hours, each council member taking turns to highlight humanity's deficiencies. Their slow reflexes compared to the lightning-quick Zephyrians, their fragile biology next to the armored Kythera, their limited lifespans against the centuries-long perspectives of the elder races. Finally, Chancellor Vexmore called for a vote. All in favor of granting humanity the dissociate status? Not a single appendage, claw, or tentacle rose. Then it is decided, Vexmore declared. Humanity may establish trade relations under strict supervision, but full membership is denied. This council will reconvene in 10 of your years to reassess. Chen stood slowly. Very well, but I should inform the council that Earth's response fleet has been en route since these negotiations began 3 months ago. They should arrive within the hour. The chamber fell silent. Kael'tha's multifaceted eyes narrowed. Response fleet? We detected no such vessels. No, Chen said quietly. You wouldn't have. 47 minutes later, every sensor array in the Nexus system began screaming warnings. They materialized. Without warning, not the crude chemical rockets the Council expected, but sleek vessels that seemed to bend light around their hulls. Hundreds of them, ranging from Corvette-sized scouts to massive dreadnoughts that dwarfed anything in the Galactic Confederation's combined fleets. Chancellor Vexmore stared at the tactical display in disbelief. Impossible. Our long-range sensors showed no approach signatures. Stealth technology, General Thakros growled, his scales now pale with fear. But the power requirements, the exotic matter needed. Admiral Sarah Mitchell's voice crackled through the chamber's communication systems, her words calm and professional. This is Admiral Mitchell of the Terran Defense Fleet. We're here to escort our diplomatic team home. Kael'tha's voice cracked as she spoke. Those vessels, they're using gravitational manipulation for propulsion. And those weapons, signatures, antimatter containment fields, exotic particle accelerators. This technology is centuries beyond what we observed. Chen smiled for the first time since arriving. You observed what we wanted you to observe. Did you think we'd reveal our true capabilities to potentially hostile aliens? The tactical display, updated as the human fleet spread into a perfect defensive formation, each ship's position calculated to provide maximum coverage and firepower. More disturbing was what the deep scans revealed. Each vessel was running on just 10% power. The energy output of their smallest escort, whispered Technician Yilfar, exceeds our flagship's maximum capacity. Chancellor Vexmore's composure cracked entirely. You deliberately misled us, made us think you were primitive. We made no claims about our technology, Chen replied. You assumed. We've learned that assumption is the first mistake species make when encountering humanity. We're very good at being underestimated. Admiral Mitchell's voice filled the chamber again. Council members, I have a message from Earth's unified government. Humanity appreciates your offer of associate status, but we must respectfully decline. Decline? Kael'tha whispered. Instead, the Admiral continued, we'd like to invite each of your species to apply for associate membership in the Terran Federation. We believe in the potential of all sapient beings regardless of their current technological limitations. The chamber erupted into chaos, indignant roars, panicked chittering, and desperate attempts at damage control. Through it all, Chen sat, calmly, watching species that had mocked humanity's weakness now scramble to understand how they'd so completely misjudged their newest neighbors. General Thakros, his pride as a warrior forcing him to ask the question that burned in every mind, spoke into the tumult. How many ships do you really have? Admiral Mitchell's reply was cheerful, almost casual. Oh, this is just the 7th Fleet. Earth has 23 active fleets plus the Home Defense Force. We figured one would be sufficient for a diplomatic escort. The silence that followed was deafening. Chen stood and straightened her jacket. Gentlemen, ladies, and distinguished beings, humanity looks forward to building productive relationships with all of your species. On equal terms, of course. As the human delegation prepared to leave, Chancellor Vexmore found his voice. Ambassador Chen, what happens now? She paused at the chamber's exit, considering the question that really asked, what happens to those who mocked Earth's children? Now, she said softly, we see who's wise enough to choose friendship over fear. The universe is vast enough for all of us, but it's also small enough that neighbors should treat each other with respect. The massive human fleet remained in perfect formation as their shuttle departed, a silent reminder that humanity's greatest strength had never been their weapons or technology. It was their patience in revealing them.